In 1999, the Community Alternative Supervision Program, or CASP, was created to implement incentive schemes for offenders in their reintegration process. CASP utilizes a continuum of sanctions approach. Community correction staff administratively move offenders through various levels of supervision intensity to reward appropriate conduct and behavior. If an offender violates the program or probation rules, the program also affords consequences. Depending on the violation, consequences may include being moved to higher supervision levels within the program or removed altogether. The 5 stages of incentives and supervision levels in this program motivate offenders to successfully complete required programming in less time, which maximizes staff resources. In 2006, 511 persons were placed on the program. Offenders placed in Level 1 of the Community Alternative Supervision Program participate in work release. These first-level offenders have the highest degree of restriction in the program. The work release component operates using bed space provided by the Monroe County Jail. All activities are arranged between the jail commander and the case manager. Inmates are only released to complete approved jobs in the community, ongoing educational pursuits, or attend rehabilitative treatment. In CASP, in order to progress to the next level, offenders must complete 1/2 of their jail sentence on work release. Offenders placed on Level 2 of CASP have the freedom to return to their private residence under electronically monitored home detention, with an additional stipulation that they must report to community corrections staff each day. These Level 2 participants are required to report Monday through Friday for alcohol and random drug testing, and to gain permission from program staff to be active in their community. Offenders are required to participate in a combination of gainful employment, education classes, substance abuse treatment, life skills classes, or community service work totaling a minimum of 40 hours per week. Community corrections staff verifies compliance with these stipulations through daily offender check-in appointments, curfew checks, electronic monitoring, and home visits. In 2006, 100 offenders participated in the Level 2 component. Electronic monitoring can be confusing for those who have never been exposed to it, but the system offers community corrections and offenders opportunities otherwise not possible. Offenders are electronically monitored in home detention through the use of the Behavioral Interventions Home Guard system. The receiver units use radio frequency technology to monitor the presence or absence of offenders. This information is compared to schedule restrictions established by the corrections staff to determine an offender's compliance. In addition to the electronic monitoring through CASP, adult community corrections can enhance the electronic monitoring with GPS monitoring for specifically ordered offenders. Typically, those offenders on GPS tracking are being monitored due to violent or sexually based offenses. GPS monitoring tracks an offender's movements while they are out in the community. Exclusion zones can be outlined on satellite images and maps in order to alert community corrections staff if an offender travels into areas of the community he or she is forbidden to travel. This monitoring provides greater supervision of offenders while in the community. Offenders placed in the 3rd supervision level of CASP continue electronic monitoring in all program activities as described in Level 2, except for the daily reporting requirement. In Level 4, offenders are placed on a curfew. All of the activities in Level 2 and 3 are still required, and the offender is monitored through a curfew. This level grants the offender greater movement in the community, as well as a reduction in fees. In the 5th and final level of CASP, offenders are only required to report to corrections staff daily. There are absolutely no restrictions on movement. However, many conditions such as requiring substance treatment may be imposed. Between 2003 and 2006, this program had 1,500 participants. Over the same 4-year time span, the entire program realized a 74% success rate. This means that 74% of all participants who began CASP successfully completed programming requirements, time stipulations, and other conditions. As stated before, the components of the Community Alternative Supervision Program can stand alone, as is the case with work release. The work release program is one of the oldest community corrections components in our county. Between 2003 and 2006, this program had 564 participants. About 60% of offenders participating in work release are independent of CASP. In the past 4 years, this program has realized a 64% success rate. In 2006, the work release program resulted in an average jail time reduction of 47 days per offender. This is an average annual cost savings for taxpayers of $1,600 per offender, or $240,000 total. The final program within community corrections involves community service. Often, county judges sentence offenders to complete a given number of community service hours as part of an offender's disposition. The community service program is comprised of two parts: public restitution and road crew. Corrections is partnered with many local nonprofits and public agencies to provide services they need while also saving them money. The courts assign offenders to either perform public restitution at a specific agency or are placed on road crew. In 2006, offenders completed 35,500 hours of community service. If agencies and organizations had paid for that same labor at the minimum wage rate in 2006, they would have paid offenders $182,000 for their contributions. Using available data since 1998, offenders have contributed 450,000 hours of service, valued at $2.6 million. Needless to say, the community service program offers tremendous benefits to the community while affording offender rehabilitation. Now that you have been presented with the various steps of community corrections programs, it's time to see how this all fits together.
Black feet print there on the deck. Look up the wooden box with the camera in it. Turn to the left. Don't print.
Without community corrections, this is precisely where the story ends. The offender is held in jail until his sentence is fulfilled. Community corrections adds another opportunity, as you will now see.
Mr. Smith, I've placed you on community corrections with the Community Corrections Department here to begin on electronic monitoring. You'll be required to report to their office, and at that time they'll go through the process with you, get you set up. You'll be required to review and sign some paperwork, and the electronic monitoring device will be attached to you at that time. You'll have a number of rules and regulations that you'll be required to comply with while you're on home detention, and I want to make sure that you take the time necessary to review those requirements, because a violation of home detention will result in your incarcerations.
What we're going to do is affix the anklet to your ankle. I'm going to cut the strap to size before we set it in there to your ankle while you're at home, and it monitors when you are at home, and this is going to remain on your ankle at all times, and you're all set at least for another 180 days. Awesome.
Okay, Tom, congratulations. You completed your house arrest time, you got your job, you completed your treatment, and you paid your fees. So I'm going to give you these. You can go ahead and cut your anklet off. And once again, congratulations, and hopefully we won't see you again. Okay? All right. Thanks.
The example of Mr. Smith shows that offenders can and do successfully complete corrections programs to become better members of our community. Mr. Smith entered the system facing serious consequences in jail time. The corrections alternative selected by the judge permitted Mr. Smith to gain employment and serve as a productive member of our community while still being closely supervised. This example is one of the many success stories of offenders who have used required programming to better themselves. All corrections programming ensures public safety while holding offenders accountable and providing thousands of dollars in savings to local taxpayers. In conclusion, community corrections successful programs offer safe, alternative sentences for offenders. As these programs further develop in the future, you can count on community corrections to serve as a catalyst for positive change. For more information about community corrections or the probation department in Monroe County, visit the Community Corrections website at www.co.monroe.n.us/probation.